Hi my friends, Sandra from ForYourChi.com, and this is a special video that I'm doing on how to not only survive but thrive during these very weird and interesting times. This video is being recorded on March 1st of 2020, and we just last week had a very scary dip in our markets. The Dow Jones Industrial, I forget how many thousand points. I think it was over 3,000. So that's quite a bit of a scare. And we had, there was some other volatility before then, so this type of volatility did not surprise me. And if you are my friend on Facebook, you know that a couple of months ago I posted a screenshot of a calendar reminder that I put in there for myself for January 6th that said Pluto-Saturn conjunction dash global financial issue. I can't find that post anywhere. Maybe it's a Mercury retrograde thing. I'm not sure, but I don't delete posts, so I don't know exactly what happened there. But nevertheless, people saw it, and some people commented on it. But you also know, if you saw that from me, I don't do that. That's the first time I've ever done that. And the reason is because I don't put transits in my calendar, like ever. But the astrologers and the financial astrologers have been predicting this for years, so I was well prepared for this. I personally am not worried about the stock market because, quite frankly, the more the stock market drops, the more money that I make. Now, I have had this conversation with many people, but I'm not sure they took me seriously. However, once you understand that the stock market, just like every market, goes in cycles, then you'll learn to join the cycle and ride the wave, which I am. Now, I just want to get the stock market thing off the table, and then we're going to go into other things. If you want to know how to position yourself like I am, feel free to book a private reading. It's not going to take very much time. I can do it in 15 minutes, but I don't want to do a video on it because I want to make sure that everyone understands some basic fundamental stuff about this. Because if you just talk to a broker, I'll tell you this, no broker told me to do what I did. I got the information somewhere else, and it wasn't a broker. And I did it myself without a broker because the brokers that I talked to had no idea what the product that I purchased even was. So again, another professional that couldn't help me. Go figure. I have to do everything myself. Just the story of my life. Okay, so anyway, the link to book a session will be under the #1 heading, book a session, ForYourChi.com, in the description box below this video. I'm going to have several links here for you. Okay, so let's get to the preventative measures we're going to go through how to keep your immune system strong, how to prevent any type of virus, okay? I want to get the essential oils out of the way first. So, essential oils. The first thing that I'm doing is something called ONGUARD. It's a product by DOTERRA. I don't know if Young Living sells anything like this, so I'm not familiar with Young Living. But anyway, ONGUARD has the ability to kill certain viruses in the air. It kills the flu virus in the air. Lots of people diffuse this in a diffuser. I am diffusing the you-know-what out of this right now. If you're in an office setting, I would highly recommend and advise you to diffuse it. I have just muscle tested this. We're going to go over muscle testing in just a minute, how you can do that for yourself and your children, and even somebody else. I prefer, when I diffuse this, to add a little Douglas fir, one of the firs. There's Siberian fir in the doTERRA product line, there's white fir, and there's Douglas fir. I like a little one of the firs, Douglas fir or whatever, because I prefer the smell of that over this. There's nothing wrong with the smell, I just don't like the, you know, clove, cinnamon type smell all the time. And also Douglas fir and all of the firs help with coughing, bronchitis, lung stuff going on. So, and I've noticed that if I come down with like a little throat tickle, if I diffuse a little Douglas fir in the nighttime, a lot of times in the morning, it's totally gone without really doing anything else. So going back to the muscle testing, I muscle test the ONGUARD product, which is just this basic oil here. And my specific question was, is this going to kill the coronavirus if it's in the air? The answer that I got was yes. And I'm going to show you how to muscle test that in just a minute. Feel free to muscle test it yourselves if you're going to buy this product, or maybe you already have this product at home, because a lot of people use these oils anyway. So, basic muscle testing, I've shown this on my video before. What you're going to do is you're going to hold this in your hand. You're going to stand up usually, put your arm out to your side like this, so you still have the product in your hand. Arms out. Someone's going to come behind you or in front of you, and you're going to ask the question, is this ONGUARD going to kill the coronavirus? And I'm just giving you an example. Going to kill the coronavirus in the air of, let's say, my office, if it's in the office. If that arm goes down immediately, the answer is no. Your body's giving you a no answer. If that arm is strong and it's difficult to push down, then the answer is yes, it's affirmative. Now, you can do this with any product, food substance, beverage, anything that you ingest in your body's going to tell you yes or no. Now, how do you know for sure if you get a strong response or a weak one? Give it a placebo. Put a little sugar in your hand, white sugar. Do it again. But in this case, ask the body in your head, does my body want sugar right now? Chances are your arm's going to go right down. Now let me give you one disclaimer. The only person that I have ever seen test strong for white sugar was a diabetic who had just taken a strong dose of insulin. So her blood sugar was down significantly at that time. When she tested strong for sugar, and she told me she was a diabetic that had just taken a dose of insulin, I said, interesting. I gave her some stevia powder. I had some all-natural stevia. I tested her. The stevia arm went totally down. The body didn't want the stevia, it wanted the real sugar, because the real sugar would have balanced her out from the insulin that it had just taken. So if you test strongly for sugar and you're diabetic, then you know that's not a true placebo for you. Your body actually wants sugar. You'll have to test something else instead. So, the ONGUARD. Some people take this internally. I do not. And the reason that I do not is because every body type is different. The supplements that I go through today, some of the supplements your body's going to say no. It requires something else. However, this, for the most part, is a regimen that was given to me by a functional medicine doctor who tested it on a biofeedback machine to tell me what my body was going to respond to and what it was going to reject. We all have fixes that our bodies will reject or accept depending on our body type, and that goes, the underlying answer is your blood type. The blood type wants certain substances. It does not want other substances. So what I have found is that my body wants the substances that are contained in the O blood type diet, because I'm O blood type. You can look up O blood type diet and then also Google the supplement. You know, there will be, in every blood type diet, there will be lists of food and beverages that your blood type wants. But then in other lists, and you'll have to Google around to find the supplement list. It took me a little while to find it last time. It will tell you what supplements your body wants and what it will reject. Well, when I saw what it was going to reject for O blood type, I thought to myself, oh my God, I've tried to take those supplements any number of times over the years, and I had like reactions. And that's why, because your blood type is reacting to something that it doesn't want. So that's why I don't take ONGUARD internally. Some people do, and it works for them. If they're feeling under the weather, they'll take a drop in water or something like that. But I can't do that because O blood type does not like citrus, and this product contains heavy citrus. But I do diffuse it, and I do wear it like a perfume. And I definitely would advise that if you can tolerate it, wearing it like a perfume and diffusing it during this coronavirus time. The other thing that I do with ONGUARD is I make my own hand sanitizer in this glass bottle. I put 10 to 15 drops of ONGUARD in this bottle, 5 drops of melaleuca, which is tea tree oil, in this bottle, about a tablespoon of the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil. You really can't use food grade coconut oil because it's going to clog up the sprayer. It really needs to be liquid coconut oil. So whatever pure liquid oil, coconut oil you have is going to work. And then I fill the rest of it up with purified water. And I keep it with me in my purse. I have one for the baby's bag. When he falls down, drops his pacifier, hands and pacifier, get this treatment, and I just wipe it off with a paper towel and go. Now, because this has ONGUARD and melaleuca in it, you're not supposed to use melaleuca around pets. No cats, no dogs. So this does not go around the pets. You don't spray it on the pets, etc. Now, one thing, another disclaimer is, because I was so pumped about getting this video started, I forgot to tell you guys, if you haven't seen me before, I am a tarot card reader, I am an energy worker, I do predictions, I do energy clearings, and stuff like that. I am not a doctor. I have never been a doctor. I will never be a doctor. However, I am a mother of 2 children, and what qualifies me to do this video is when you have a child who has a problem with an immune issue, you start researching things until you get to the bottom of the answer, and you get an answer that makes sense and that works. So I have done a lot of research on boosting the immune system and allergies and what you can do to get rid of allergies, temporarily and permanent. So that is why, in addition to all the unusual research that I've done in my life. Okay, so we've taken care of that. And we've gone completely through the essential oils. If you don't know where to purchase essential oils, I'm going to put a link in the description box. Look under number 2 in the description box. You'll see the essential oil link. The other thing, if you have frankincense oil, I'm not telling you to go out and buy frankincense because frankincense is expensive. However, if you're in the market to buy it and you want some frankincense, or you have some already, I would highly recommend that you wear frankincense every day. And the reason why, or rose oil, same thing. Frankincense and rose oil are the highest vibrational essential oils on the earth. So there's a reason why frankincense oil was in the Bible. What it does is it raises the vibration of your body. If your body is happy, it's going to make you happy. And it can't hurt, right? Plus it wards off lots of bad vibes, negativity, and evil, and all kinds of other things. I would do it just as a another preventative measure. It can't hurt. Okay, now let's get into the preventative measures here. The first thing that I take most days is something called IP6. Now there's another product that this company makes called Max 3. That's an excellent product. These are only for adults, by the way. I take 2 of these every day, and you have to take a probiotic with it, because the probiotic will help you. I have an ink blot on my hand, sorry about that. The probiotic will help you digest this IP6. IP6 is created from calcium. So you'll see it says calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and then IP6, which is a combo of that. Okay, so what IP6 does, I learned about IP6 through Dr. Oz many years ago. He was going through a preventative measures for supplements to prevent certain types of cancers. And one of the things that he said about IP6 was that it builds up your killer T cells to the point where they will fight every invader, bacteria, viruses, and cancer, because cancer is a lack of immune system. When your immune system is bogged down with a virus or whatever, it cannot fight the cancer cells in your body. Every person has cancer cells in their body. But the difference is a strong immune system is going to attack those cancer cells so that they're not a big deal. So you can keep on going on living life. This is why the HPV virus is such a big deal, because there are certain strains of that virus that will bog down your immune system so bad that you can get cancer. And it's not just cervical cancer, it's all types of other cancer. It can be skin cancer, it can be, I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. And by the way, the other supplement that Dr. Oz recommended in that show, specifically for breast cancer, was black raspberry capsules. Black raspberry capsules. So I don't take that, but I'm just throwing that out there for those of you that want to indulge in that. Now, going back to the muscle testing, every supplement that I'm telling you that I take, you should definitely muscle test each one. And the other thing too is, again, I'm not a doctor. Some of these things may interfere with the medicines that you're taking or what you've been diagnosed with. So you should take it all to your doctor and let him know what you're taking in the event that you're on prescription medication or he's going to prescribe you something, he or she. So having said that, the body will tell you whether or not it wants this product. You don't even have to buy this. Most of these products you can get in the health food store. This is where I find IP6. Okay, back to the muscle testing. You're at the health food store. You ask, you don't have anybody with you, right? So you're asking the person that works there, which I've done many times. They all think that I'm funny. Okay, so you put this product in your hand because you don't want to buy it unless it's going to work for you, right? Same thing. Arm out, strong. The question is asking your body if this product is going to work for you. If your body needs this, if your body requires it. If it's strong, the answer is yes. If it's weak, the answer is no. But by this time, you should already have the weak response, so weak, strong, so that you know what means yes and what means no, right? If it's a child, too young to do the muscle testing, so that, you know, if it's a baby or 2 years old or something, you can hold the child in one hand and muscle test the product in the other. And the question is this product going to support my child? Is this the, you know, is this the supplement for them? Same thing. The body will be strong if it's yes, and it will be weak if it's no. Okay, so I need to, remember to tell you something about the babies in just a minute, but we're going to get through my adult regimen first. Okay. There's a sticker that's covering up this label. But anyway, this is a product by Pure. It's a vitamin C. It's a buffered vitamin C. And again, I have to take, this is the only one that I'm aware of that's buffered with this specific ingredients. This vitamin C is buffered with magnesium and potassium. And this is the only vitamin C that muscle tests positive for me. And I found this through a functional medicine doctor who, again, put it on the biofeedback machine. They tested all kinds of vitamin C against my body type. They were different, vitamin C that were buffered with different substances. My body rejected all of them. Ester C, rejected. Rose hips, rejected. But for whatever reason, the magnesium and the potassium are enough to balance out the citric acid in the vitamin C to where my body will take it. So that's an important thing. O blood types do not like citrus. The other thing that I do every day during the flu season is this brand of vitamin D. And this is a very tasty gummy. I don't buy it because it's a tasty gummy. I buy it because it is 2,500 IUs of vitamin D3. And 2,500 IUs is what's required to prevent the flu in adults. Children is 1,500. It's hard to find a supplement that's that high. Most of the supplements that you're going to find are like 400 or 500 or maybe 600. Well, you're going to have to take a lot of pills every day to get to that 2,500 mark. Now, you can take more than 2,500 because my husband was prescribed a 10,000 IU pill per day. It's a little tiny pill by this maker right here, Pure. And so he was taking 10,000 a day. And so vitamin D3 is huge on building up the immune system. When your immune system is strong, it can fight every invader. Okay, let's get to the baby stuff. So during cold and flu season, I give the baby elderberry syrup. Now I'm calling him a baby, but he is 1.5 years, so he's a baby to me. But he's not a little baby. And I started giving him elderberry syrup around 9 months, and that was again tested by a functional medicine doctor because they say don't give a baby honey. Elderberry syrup does contain a certain amount of honey in it, so I had him tested before I started giving it to him. Now, I don't know what would have happened if I would have tested it at 6 months or, even before then. I don't know if he would have tolerated it or not. I'm not sure. So that's one thing that you have to watch out for in elderberry syrup is the honey factor. You may have to take it to a doctor if you have a small baby to see, and it's not just any doctor, right? It's a functional medicine doctor that can actually test this. Because when you take that to your pediatrician and say test it, he's going to look at you like you just came from the planet Pluto. Okay. And the other thing that I was giving him every day, but I'm not anymore, is PICO Silver. He gets this like every second or third day. So this is a sort of a sister product, for lack of a better word, to colloidal silver. I used to take a product called Argentin that was again prescribed by a functional medicine doctor. So these silver products are antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So that's why it's a great product to have around the house if you come down with something. And how I was told to take this was as an adult, 2 teaspoons, adult dose, morning and night, gargling it in your mouth, 30 seconds. then swishing for 30 seconds, and then swallow. Now, apparently the act of gargling it, gets to the tonsils and kills germs in the back of your throat, but it also absorbs on a cellular level. Now, I like the PICO Silver better because I feel like I take less of this than I would that other brand. So I personally take this if there's something going on. However, I give it to the 1.5-year-old once every second or third day. Just a minute amount, a 1/4 teaspoon, which he was prescribed that a year ago. So he's quite a bit bigger now. But I do that as a preventative measure because he is, if we go outside or out of the house, he may throw a tantrum. He's on the floor, his pacifier hits the floor before I can reach it, it's back in his mouth again. So this is definitely keeping him on the up and up, regardless of all the issues that we've had in the past. Okay, so we went through the PICO Silver. Oh yes. So there's something called transfer factor. And I'm a little bit annoyed because I bought a bottle of transfer factor to show you guys. Open the package. And now I can't find where I put it. I've misplaced it. And you would think there are only so many places to put it, but apparently I put it somewhere where I couldn't find. So I'm going to try to go to the internet. Let's see if we can do this and show you guys where to get this. And that's not working. Okay. Give me just a second and I will figure out how to get there. Classic. And that is, usually it has a light blue label. We're going to try to find it here. Here it is. It's this one right here. Let's enhance that. Okay, so see that classic marker? This is something that babies and even tiny babies can have, and the reason I know that is because both of mine had it. This is made with cow colostrum. You cannot give this to a kid who has a dairy allergy. That would be a bad thing. For the longest time, my youngest one could not have it because he was having dairy issues until we got that fixed. However, he's not taking it right now because I can't find the bottle. But as soon as I find the bottle, we are going to be taking it again. This product works in a similar way to the IP6. I'm told it protects the cells from the virus invader itself. Which, if anyone knows how colostrum works, it's described in the same manner. Now, I'm going to tell you about my friend Bob. My friend Bob told me about this product many, many years ago, and I started giving it to my daughter when she was probably 2 or 3. Just 1 pill every day. It's in a capsule, so what you do is you open the capsule and just put it in food or drink. It's a white powder. It tastes like nothing, milk. So I was giving it in milk. So she started taking it 2 or 3 years old. When she was about 4, she was going to daycare. I'm trying to keep a long story short. I told her not to put her mouth on the water fountain. She put it on there anyway. She ended up being diagnosed with mono at 4, which I never thought a 4-year-old would be diagnosed with mono, but what did I know? I was 20-something at the time. So I was horrified that she was diagnosed with mono because we all know the problems associated with that, how long it takes him to get over that, and all of those things. So I called my friend Bob, who told me about this transfer factor and this 4Life product. And I said, you know, she's diagnosed with mono, what should I do? And he said to me, double up the dose. So I gave her 1 capsule with the, you know, not the capsule, but open the contents. I gave that to her once in the morning and 1 capsule in the evening. Now I realize the price here. This is not cheap. However, if you have a small kid and you're only giving him 1 capsule a day, there are 90 in here, so this is going to last you 3 months. In the event that you have to double up, it's still not that bad when you consider what you're getting. So what happened was I doubled up the dose, and the only thing that happened was she would go to, say her bedtime, I think it was like 8 o'clock that day. Her bedtime was an hour earlier, so she went to bed at 7 instead of 8. And within 7 days, she was completely over it. So I had already known that this product was working, but it was really put to the test during that time. When she only had 7 days worth of mono, I mean, that's a big deal for me. And it would be a big deal to any parent too. Okay, so going back to my friend Bob. So Bob is a friend that I've known for a very, very, very long time. He is an organic vegan, and he has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about supplements, diet, all kinds of regimens, and has for a very long time. And that is why I went to him all those years ago, and he gave me the information about the transfer factor. Transfer factor is the only product that he was taking in the past that's actually an animal product. All the other things were not, they were all plant-based. So today, Bob has been living with stage 4. Now, he hasn't had a scan recently. So this is the last information, whenever that scan was, 2 years ago or more. He's been living with stage 4 ocular melanoma. That has, back then when he had the scan done, it had already spread to his brain and his liver. Now, since Bob is so particular about his, what happens to his body, he did not listen to the oncologists when they said the only way for you to survive is a surgery and radiation, and I'm not sure if they use the chemo with him or not, but so he said take a hike. He's not doing any of that, and he has been living with this diagnosis for 2 years and about 8 months now. And he has, this is in his left eye, he has 50% vision in his eye, and when I say that he is living, what I mean is he is working 12 hours a day. He only sleeps maybe 6 hours a night, and that's a lot for him. He looks just like he did, you know, 5 years ago, whenever the last time I saw him was. He's not missing a beat. He's not taking a sick day. Like, he's out there doing life. And he has done some very unique things to try to treat this cancer on his own, and the reason why it's more far out than anyone that wants to go all natural treatment is because the cancer is in his eye. That's the main source of it, right? So it's hard to get any supplement to go to your eye. You have to, he's done things with, he's told me with some kind of coils. I'm not really sure what all that was, but all I can tell you is he's amazing and he's thriving. So when we're talking about the immune system and how to keep it strong, if you've got something chronic going on in your life that a doctor has not been able to resolve for you, and you know that you need to make a lifestyle change, diet, supplement, regimen, you're not sure where to start, You can definitely book a consultation with my friend Bob. Bob is not a doctor. He's never been a doctor. He never will be a doctor. However, he does do these consultations for these select people, and he will give you, you'll have to give him your history, and he will come up with a diet and supplement regimen plan for you. And the only disclaimer that I will say here is, if you're O blood type, don't go vegan because we need red meat. And everything he's going to give you, you can muscle test in a health food store. And by the way, the muscle testing also works, and I know this sounds crazy, if you write the name of the product down, or you could even print it out and fold it up and put it in your hand, put your arm out and ask your body, is this my fix? Are you going to accept this? Do you want this substance? And it will be strong or weak. So you don't have to go out and order it and spend the money until you get the strong muscle test that your body says yes. Anyway, my friend Bob, back to the consultation. So if you want a consultation with him, he is going to charge. However, it's a donation, and there's going to be a minimum amount. It's not going to be cheap. However, it will be worth every penny that you pay because Bob is so knowledgeable and he is incredibly thorough. He's the Virgo in every sense of the word. And he will give you his recommendations, and you'll have a follow-up call after you start your regimen. Okay, so look for number 3 in the description box, and you'll see a link with his information and the minimum donation and his PayPal address. And then once you send the minimum donation to the PayPal, send him an email and he will get back with you as soon as he can. And it will be within 7 days. It's not going to be, a huge time frame. Okay, I want to go through one other thing. This has really helped me through hard times. I heard through the grapevine about a homeopathic doctor. So I've talked to you about functional medicine, but a friend of mine she has a homeopathic doctor. And when I had my son, I thought this is a good idea to have in my back pocket in case I ever need someone who can help us out. Because we have a pediatrician, but they have disappointed me in the past for various reasons. Because there have been more than one time when they look at me and say, I'm sorry, but all the tests that we've run don't show anything. And by the way, your kid hasn't been in school for 14 days because, he had diarrhea for 14 days. And that was not acceptable to me, so I had to go somewhere else. Same thing happened with my son. He had severe allergies. They couldn't tell me what he was even reacting to, let alone treating it, because he would have had to have a severe reaction in order for them to treat it. So I had to go to functional medicine. So I had the idea that I needed this homeopathic doctor, and I'm so glad that I did it because this has helped me out during sporadic times when I was in a pinch. So the first thing the homeopathic doctor told me to do is go out and buy 2 very expensive kits. I'm not going to lie. So, and this kit was for the baby. Both kits were for the baby. But I'm saying this kit was for a baby because he was very little at the time, and he still is little. So I still use this kit. But this is the weakest strength in homeopathic medicine that you can find. This is called 30C. This is the 30C kit. This is the most expensive kit, and you can see, if the glare would go away, all of the remedies listed in this kit, right? This is quite a bit. And you want to get a kit because you have accessibility to a variety of medicines in the middle of the night, and you don't have to go anywhere and get it. You have it all. And the second kit she told me to get was this one right here, and this is the 200C strength, and this is for severe flare-ups. You're going to need stronger homeopathic remedies. And you can get both of these kits from Washington Homeopathic. Just Google Washington Homeopathic, and There will be those two kits, the 200C and the 30C, and so many more remedies than you can possibly think of. Now, after I consulted her many, many times, I realized that I can treat homeopathically myself without consulting her. And this is, I just kind of found this information on a whim. And we're going to see if I can show you that right now. Hi everyone. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something about this homeopathic medicine. So if you Google Homeopathy Center, this website here will come up. National Center for Homeopathy, NCH. This beautiful website comes up. Now before we get into this, I want to run down a couple more things real quick. So first of all, I'm going to put a link to every product that I named in this video so that you guys can find it easily. The PICO Silver product is a website called rnareset.com, and there are different ways to administer that PICO Silver, which is actually a colloidal silver product. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I would Google that if I were you. Specifically, how to administer it to the lungs in a diluted format. I would Google that, okay? The next thing is, I needed to remind you guys, there's different ways to muscle test. So I muscle tested using my arm because that's what works for me, but I know people who use their knees, and there's another complicated way to use your hands and fingers. I've tried the knees, but for me, I can't get a solid answer one way or the other that's accurate for me, so I don't use the knees, and I can't even pretend to understand what they do with the fingers. I know that it works, but I don't understand it. It's too complicated for me. Maybe one day I will figure it out. Okay, next thing. I want to go over the market for just a minute. The information that I have indicates that the volatility is not over. However, it appears from what I'm receiving is that it is just beginning. So this is going to be important to pay attention to and to take the opportunity to learn what I know in a one-on-one session with me. We can do it in 15 minutes. I charge $30. Also, in one of the links in the description box below, there will be a link to my prosperity video. This is going to be important for everyone to participate in. It's cheap, it's $10, and I teach you 9 different ways of how to create more and attract more prosperity and abundance in your life, using secrets that I have known and taught for many years. Going back to the supplements, I want to talk about food. 2 food sources real quick. Garlic is a big one for rejuvenating the lungs. You can take pills. Again, I would muscle test that. I would also make, and I'm also going to make, a chicken broth with extra garlic in it and freeze it. You can't. Now, if you make homemade chicken noodle soup like I do, you know that you can't freeze chicken soup with the noodles, right? But you can definitely freeze the broth with the vegetables. And I'm going to use extra garlic with that. Also, sweet potatoes are known to support the lungs, and specifically people that have bronchitis, because it helps the bronchial tubes. Also, the immune system. We talked about the immune system compromised folks. Number 1 is allergy season is right around the corner. I live in the South, and so it's here now. It's in March. Up north, you guys have a month or 2 before things start blooming. So you're going to have those allergies under wraps, because the immune system is compromised if you're under allergy attacks, okay? And the other thing is sugar. Sugar actually can break down the immune system, and it does break down the immune system. And I learned that from a pediatrician's office. I overheard them talking one day. They said the biggest week of the season for their business is the week after Halloween, after all the kids overdose on candy. And I paid attention to that, and sure enough, if my kid got into the candy and I didn't hide it from her right away, guess where we were at the next week. Exactly. Okay, let me go into this. I did this the other day and it made me log in, but I think that there's a way that you can log in using a guest membership. Let's see. Guest. Maybe it's under home. Let's try home. Find a remedy. Bam, here we go. We're in. Okay. So as you can see, there's an alphabetical search list. And this is perfect to use with the homeopathic kits that I was talking about. And I'll have, like I said, I'll have all the links in the description box to that homeopathic kit as well. So A is for acne. Let's press F for flu. And we're going to go down here, fainting, fever, flu. Here we go. Okay, so here are all the remedies that treat flu. And you're going to want to look at the symptoms that you're having, because the symptoms that you're having are going to give you a clue as to what homeopathic remedy to try. Now, the only sort of thing that you'll have to learn is the dosage. So the homeopathic remedies that come in the kit are the pellets are extremely small. They're the small size pellets. So when I had a baby, a small baby, his dosage was 8 to 10 pellets about every 3 hours at first, and then you scale it back as the symptoms start to subside. Now, if the symptoms don't subside in the first, say 6 hours, you'll have to go to another remedy because that remedy isn't working. However, I have found that once I go to whatever remedy it is, and then I look at the symptoms and say, okay, this is what it sounds like, and then I muscle test this remedy in my kit, holding the kid, just like I told you guys about. I found that if I muscle test strong for something, and then I give it to him, or if I muscle test strong for something that I have going on, and then I take it, then that is the correct remedy the first time, which is great because you don't have to play a guessing game. The body just knows. And so that's one disadvantage that the homeopathic doctors don't have, because it is a guessing game for them. They have a program that's sort of like this website I'm showing you, and they say, okay, what are your symptoms? And then it spits out various remedies. But it is a guessing game until you take it and figure out, is it working for you or not? This is a great way that I have discovered, I just stumbled upon it, to cut down the treatment time, because you get the right remedy the first time. And I've tried this any number of times and it works. So, you know, let's just say that your flu has these symptoms here for gelsemium. And then you grab the gelsemium out of the kit, you have somebody muscle test you in the way that I described, or for your kid, you're holding your kid, your muscle test is strong, he's a baby, you feed him 8 to 10 pellets for the first, once every 3 hours. And many people have told me that you cannot overdose on homeopathic remedies. I've had a homeopathic doctor tell me that you can't, even if they take the whole bottle in that vial that comes in the kit, there will be no ill consequence that comes to them, which is great. Now, the size pellets. If you're not going to get the kit and you're going to go to a health food store and get a vial like that, let me just show you. We're going to go to a different tab here. I think it's Borian. Yeah, here we go. The kits, the remedies rather, in the health food store look like this. They come in this blue vial. I've never seen that remedy before. So there are different strengths of homeopathic remedy. The strength for, like I said, the strength for the small babies and small kids is 30C, but if they need something stronger, it's 200C. And then there are adult dosages in the health food store that I've seen that are 6X and 10, I think it's 10M. But normally what comes in these little vials are, I know that says 9C, and that's kind of weird. Let me see if I can find another one. Normally the ones that come in the vials in the health food store are either 30C or 200C. And again, what's great about the kit is you can test both of them to see, okay, if the 30C dose worked but did not work enough after a couple days, you can up that dose to the 200C. And again, there's small pellets that come in the kits. These pellets here are going to be the large pellets. So a baby or a small child would need 2 pellets, but an adult dose would be 5. And by the way, an adult dose of the small pellets that come in the kit is about 30. And if you've ever used a celecoximum for flu-like symptoms, you know that you take the whole vial, which is a very small vial. There are about 30 pellets in there if you count them out. So that's about the same thing. All right, let me see if I have gone over everything. Okay, so one of the things that I have read about this virus in more than one place is that the first sign of symptoms is you have a sore throat for 3 or 4 days. Now, I've also heard a couple of doctors mention that zinc is very effective for this virus in helping it to be remedied quickly, zinc. And my brother reminded me the other day that he uses Zicam. He doesn't like any other type of product except the Zicam nose spray. And what he said was, he sprays it up his nose and then he lays down and it kind of drains in the back of the throat, which is not a bad idea, actually. But if you like, zinc products any other way, I'm sure that they would all be good to administer to that throat, because the tonsils are your first line of defense, right? Some of you don't have tonsils though. So, I don't know how that affects the outcome or what sort of role that will play, but I do know that once it's in the tonsils, you can get to it by using zinc or Sometimes I fight off a cold by gargling hydrogen peroxide for 30 seconds. I don't swallow it. Never ever swallow it. I simply gargle with it for 30 seconds, 10 seconds at a time. Take a breather, another 10 seconds, another 10 seconds. Spit it out. And then I don't rinse my mouth out. I don't even swallow saliva. I just spit for 5 or 10 minutes and really let that peroxide do its magic and fight the germ that's in the tonsils. And a lot of times it'll kill a cold right there. I mean, I may have to repeat that process 2 or 3 times that very first day. The key is to get it when you first start feeling a sore throat coming on. The sooner you get to it, the faster it goes away. Sometimes if you let it linger, it's too late. It's gone on to the back of the throat and beyond. Okay, I think that's all for this segment. And if you've been following my videos, I said a little bit about this in one of my other videos, weekly videos, a couple of weeks ago. There are people who are immune compromised, right? So if you're already immune compromised, you can take all of this stuff, but if you don't fix the problem, your immune system is still not working at optimal function, optimal level. And for some of you, my friend Bob can help you. Again, number 2, link number 2. Two or 3. I've lost track. One of them was the essential oils and one of them is Bob. You'll see it in the description box. I'll have it labeled. So the people who are immune compromised, some of those people will have an underlying virus going on, who may or may not know it, right? Sometimes your immune system can be fighting something and you don't know it. You're not totally aware. You just feel tired or sluggish and you just dismiss it as, well, you didn't get enough sleep. But it's actually fighting something off. So when I hear, right now, again, this is being recorded March 1st, 2020, when I hear whoever it is talking about, it's not too late to get your flu shot. On March 1st, 2020, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what I wouldn't do. I would not get a flu shot right now if somebody paid me $1 million. And the reason is, if you're immune compromised, which can be given a vaccine, right? Because if your body's trying to fight off that vaccine, it can't fight off the vaccine and the coronavirus. It's a bad idea. That could put you in a very bad place very quickly. So I would not do that whatsoever. We need to keep our immune system strong right now. Everyone metabolizes vaccines and substances at different rates and levels. It may take me 2 or 3 days to get over that. It may take someone else a week or 2 weeks or even more. There's no guarantee on how long or how fast your body's going to metabolize that. It depends on, there are various factors that go into that, right? The other thing is, it's important to get enough sleep. You need to do whatever it is to get you sleep. Keep your cell phone in another room. The cell phone EMF waves can actually not really prevent you from going to sleep, but you keep waking up and waking up and waking up when the cell phone is in your room. And you say, well, I need my cell phone in case someone, calls and it's emergency. Put it in the other room and turn the volume up high. That's what I would do. The other thing is to take the mirrors out of the bedroom. All mirrors out of the bedroom. The mirrors have the same, any mirror in your bedroom has the same effect on sleep as the cell phones. wake up, wake up, wake up. And you could have other problems as a result of the mirrors, but we won't get into that in this video. I don't need to overload you guys with any more information than I'm already giving you. And of course they say don't watch TV or any screen time before bed because that prevents you from going to sleep. I'm sure some people have that problem, but I don't have that problem. The only thing I know is if you don't get enough sleep, you are immune compromised. There is no question. I know because I was sleep deprived last year from having a baby. And same thing there. I actually had the M word removed off my arm because of that. Or the C word. The C-M word. I'm not going to say it. I think you guys get it. And I had that taken care of. But if I hadn't been on all of my stuff, it would not have been stage 0 or in situ. I got it on stage in situ. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I don't know anybody else who has had in situ except for me. So, you know, all they did was cut it off and that was over. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that. Your doctor. Yes, so a lot of people treat doctors like they are the authoritarian, you know, they're the boss, they're the god. And I want to tell you guys that a long time ago, I learned from a very wise lady, whose name I won't speak here. She might be watching this video. She's amazing. But she's older than me, and she had quite a bit of surgeries. And she told me this when I was very young. I was 19. And she had been through the medical field for various reasons. And she said, you know, a lot of people don't realize that that doctor that you've selected to do whatever for you is not the boss. Yes, they're a professional. Yes, they've spent all these years in medical school. And yes, they can evaluate you and give you their recommendation. They can give you their take on what they think that you have, and they can run all these tests and they can give you, you know, a treatment plan. But at the end of the day, you're the boss. Like, you say yay or nay. You sign up for that. And that always stuck with me because I think that people are just scared. They think, oh, well, the doctor told me that I had to do this, so I have to do. But, you know, look at my friend Bob. I mean, I think everybody should get medical treatment. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes the doctor is not right. Sometimes they are incorrect. And there have been several times when I have had to turn away from medical advice because I knew in my gut that it was wrong. Now, understand that I'm an intuitive. I've been intuitive my whole life. So I've been able to say yay or nay to a lot of people, but especially doctors and medical treatment because of what that lady told me so many years ago. You're the boss. I just can't do anything that my intuition is saying otherwise. I'm not going to do it. Having said that, I've gone to the doctor and I have made a stance and told them before that you're going to do this thing to me whether you want to do it or not. And if you say no, I'm going to find someone else who will. And I had that happen to me last year when I went to the dermatologist and she looked at this thing on my arm and she said, yeah, that's not a big deal. We're just going to monitor it. And I said, no, you don't understand. I'm here today to have this thing off my arm because I know that there's something wrong here. And again, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to find someone who will. And she looked at me and she said, okay. And she came in and took it off and sent it to the lab. And she called me a couple days later and she's like, guess what? You're not going to believe this, but... And then she gave me the diagnosis. And then I said, see, I told you so. Same thing if they want to give you some kind of treatment or your child some kind of treatment when your gut is telling you no. You got to listen to your gut here. You got to listen to your gut. Doctors know a lot of things, but they don't know everything. And if your gut is telling you to run out of that office with your kid, then that's what you should do. And I have done that before, and thank God that I did that. I used to argue with my daughter's pediatrician all the time. And thank God that I was smart enough not to do what she was telling me to do when she was telling me to do it. Because now they've changed their stance on all that. Now it's a totally different ballgame. But back then, you know, they were just trying to railroad you. And I mean, some people I'm sure still get railroaded at pediatricians' offices, right? So at the end of the day, you're the boss. You get to decide what kind of medical treatment that you do or don't get, at least today, when this video is recorded, March 1st, 2020, we still have medical freedoms. Medical care, treatment is a freedom. We get to choose, yes or no. Nothing's forced upon us. Thank God. Okay, so this has been a long video. Thanks so much for sticking with me. If you would like to take advantage of everything or anything that I have spoken about or offered you in the description box, please do so. If not, much love to you, and I'll see you next time. Many blessings, everyone. Have a safe and healthy and happy rest of this lifetime. So much love.